Welcome to The Abundance Journey, the show that helps spiritual entrepreneurs create an abundance mindset that accelerates revenue. Secretly, everything you experience in your life is actually abundance. Once you understand how to activate abundance, you find yourself in flow with your business and clients, so it's easy to create the revenue you want. The Abundance Journey is the only show that activates abundance for you, so you enjoy rapid results in your business. Here's your host, the Abundance Ambassador, Elaine Starling.
Have you ever noticed that absolutely nothing happens until you're inspired to take action? Well, that's why I wanted to chat with Sandra Bargman, because she's amazing. This woman is, honestly, she is a modern day Renaissance woman. She does so many different things: an actor, a singer, an author, a seminary trained and ordained inner spiritual minister. She's also the host of the weekly podcast, The Edge of Every Day. It's on Talk Radio in New York City. She has a hit solo stage show by the exact same name. And it's amazing what it does for the audience, because it's all about inspiration. Always. It's always about inspiration. And that's why I was inspired to get Sandra on the show. Sandra, welcome. I'm so glad you could join us today.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here, Elaine. Thank you so much for having me, and hello to your listeners.
Yeah, well, why are you so passionate about what you're doing with The Edge of Every Day and with inspiration?
Well, The Edge of Every Day, the podcast and the whole concept really brings all of the things that I'm passionate about, all the different quote unquote tracks that I'm passionate about, into one universal, if you will, message. It weaves all of the tendrils into one fabric. So I get to, it feeds the performer in me. It feeds the spiritual curiosity in me. It feeds the person that wants to inspire, the person who wants to be inspired. So it all comes together with The Edge of Every Day. Both the solo show, which I'm in the process of dusting off and bringing back to the stage now that things are opening up, but continuing with all of the concepts in the podcast. So yeah.
That is so cool. That's so cool. But obviously the name of the show is The Abundance Journey. And so I always ask the question, because abundance shows up in every way imaginable. But given what you do, Sandra, how would you define abundance?
Oh, it's such a great question. And and it can go so many different ways.
I know.
I love it. I think truly at the heart of abundance is the willingness to feel supported by life. And it's not necessarily, certainly having an abundance of money so that your back isn't up against the wall and you're not in anxiety and overwhelm. But that's not, a ton of money is not necessarily going to give you that feeling that life is in complete support of me, that I'm feeling the flow of being on that journey, that it's completely lifting me at all times and holding me.
Oh, that is so beautiful. I love that definition, because another word that I would use to describe that is gratitude, and just feeling gratitude for everything that shows up.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how it shows up or what happens or the experience that you're going through. If you view this as, this is a blessing for me somehow, some way, I may not recognize it
and have the courage to look at that.
Exactly. Then everything shifts in your life. Absolutely everything.
Totally.
So obviously, you do a lot of different things for a lot of different people, all from your ministry work and doing weddings, all the way up to your theatrical work and your podcast. I mean, wow, you really are a Renaissance woman. So you work with a lot of different kinds of people. When you think about what people are struggling with, what's a symptom that a lot of people have that they don't know what they don't know, right? And this is why they're just naturally drawn to you.
I think people are naturally drawn to me. I think people feel as though they get overwhelmed and they don't know what the next step is. and they don't feel encouraged to be real about what that next step is. That it doesn't have it. There's no shoulds.
Mm-hmm.
There, at the edge of every day is about analyzing both the light and the dark, and the dark is very often the golden shadow. I mean, lots of ways of coming to this, answering this overwhelm and exploring what those next steps are. So I think what people really love about working with me is I am fearless in getting real about what it is, getting my clients to, or anyone I'm working with, to get to the truth. It's all the same work with the counseling, with the coaching, with the weddings, with just getting people honest and about what it is, giving them permission.
Yeah.
To about the steps that they really want to take, that they feel inspired by.
Yeah, being open and vulnerable is so hard for people these days.
It really is.
They've got this.
Really is.
They've got this shell around them. They've got this armor on that they're wearing into battle every day. And when you can help people lay down arms and realize that they are cherished and loved and adored exactly as they are, no changes, no modifications, just you be you. Yeah. Wow, what a difference.
Well, and I think there's also, I like to poke fun. So I think, and I do it towards myself and I do it to people I work with, and just the sense of levity. I have, there's 3 rules about life on the edge of every day. Paradox, we all live with it. Change, and it's inevitable. Change is the only thing you can count on.
Mm-hmm.
And humor. Those are my 3 rules of life. Paradox,
love that.
Change, and humor.
Yeah, I'm taking notes just in case you're wondering what I'm up to. I've been writing almost the whole time you've been talking because there's so many words of wisdom coming from you. And I love what you're about. I love what you're doing. And I'm so excited about it. But so I have to ask another question, because my experience has been, when we do have to make a change, when we want something to shift in our world, there's always something inside that has to shift in order for us to have that external new experience that we've been desiring. In your work with people, what are you noticing that people eventually are willing to shift inside?
Again, I'm going to come back to that word permission. I think people don't realize how close they are to having what they want.
Yes.
All it requires is a sense of receiving it, the permission to have it, that I am worthy of this, that it is for me, that the universe has it for me, I have it for me. And it's just connecting people to their permission.
Yeah, it makes all the difference in the world, because one of the things that I've noticed about people, you tell me if this resonates for you, whatever you declare is true for you. So, I've talked with people who are like, oh, I never have any time and there's never enough time and I can't do that. No. Instead, I always have plenty of time. I'm divinely guided to allocate my time so that it's extremely efficient and effective. And I always have plenty of time. Right. And you can I feel a shift. I mean, in my body, I feel a difference when I talk about things in different ways. Have you noticed that?
Oh, certainly. Self-speak is powerful. I think underneath all of that is the willingness to get real about, I'll take that example, to get underneath that. I don't have time for that. Well, actually, you know that you do. You can have time for it if you want it. But what is this? What is your connection with busyness? I would ask that person. How is that serving you? Saying that you don't have enough time. I mean, so self-speak absolutely is important. We can change our brains with our self-speak.
I love that. How does that serve me? That is like one of the most powerful questions we can ask ourselves. because everything is designed to be a gift for us. And every reaction that we take is designed to get us what we want and what we want to experience.
Yeah.
So that's incredibly profound. Sandra, I got to ask you, obviously everybody would love a magic wand, just change my world with a hey presto, pa-ding. And sadly, that's not usually how it shows up. There's a series of actions that we have to take. There are steps to the process. So for those of us who want to open up and be inspired and feel that sense of wonder that life has our back and we are just ready to thrive and explode with abundance, what are one of those first 1 or 2 baby steps that we should be paying attention to that shows we're on the right track?
That's an interesting question. The first thing that pops to my mind is curiosity. I think people, once they realize they're not being curious about themselves, once they get that, I've made a lot of decisions about the way my life is, and I've stopped being curious about how I'm motivated and how I move in the world and how I'm present. So I think, always the first step for me is to get, again, I'll use this lovely word, a favorite word of mine, I'll get real about where have I lost curiosity about my path and about the actions that I'm taking. And what feels like a should and what feels like a bona fide joy, or just a turn on. It doesn't have to be like life-altering joy, but something that feels, this felt good. Like
it's interesting. It piques your curiosity. It gets you to lean in a little bit, right?
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
like we're our own divining rod.
Totally. But there's no, it's always looking outward when, no, the first step is looking in. Always.
Oh, you can tell why I want to talk to Sandra, because she so gets it. She so gets it at such a deep and profound level. And that's why I absolutely love and adore you, Sandra. And I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to chat with you today. Now, we were talking about how people can experience a bit more of you and get to know you at a deeper, richer level and kind of be inspired by some of the work that you have done. Could you tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel?
Yes, my YouTube channel, Sandra Bargman, On the Edge of Every Day. It has certainly it has all my podcasts, my former episodes. You can get The Edge of Every Day on your favorite platforms. You can get some of the back episodes at TalkRadio.NYC, but you can get all of them on my YouTube channel. That's just sort of a wonderful holding space for. But there's also, I've loaded performances from The Edge of Every Day, and some from other shows that I've been involved in, and some of my theater performances. I've been able to those where rights are okay. And there's also, in terms of just the small teaching moments that I do in I'm involved with as their resident spiritual leader / counselor, if you will. And so I just, I talk about what arises for me and how I'm trying to unpack it and be present with it.
And I just love how real you are. I love how real you are. You're a no nonsense, no bullshit chick. And you cut to the chase and you're open and honest about what you're thinking and what you're dealing with and the struggles that you have. And the thing that I love about your program is that you're sharing universal stories. You're sharing issues that all of us feel, that all of us struggle with, that all of us want to grow through and grow from. So I really appreciate the work that you're doing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, my goodness.
Keep it up. So obviously, I'm going to tell everybody because I want to make sure that we're supporting you. We always turn the tables on our guests here at the Abundance Journey. We know that when we give is when we receive so much more. So thank you so much for the gift of On the Edge of Every Day. I absolutely love that, The Edge of Every Day. And obviously, we're going to pay attention to your YouTube channel. I'll make sure the link is in the show notes, so it's super easy for people to find. And then in order for us to support you, I would love for everyone to make a point of liking, commenting, sharing, follow her YouTube channel.
Oh, yes, please subscribe.
And share this information. And one of the most profound things that you can do for the people you love, the people you're connected to, take one of Sandra's videos and comment about what you discovered about yourself when you watch that video and share it on your social media channels.
Oh, that's so
Add
nice.
you to Sandra so that people can see the transformation. And when you do that, you are publicly acknowledging your own transformation and you're empowering others to experience a transformation. Sounds like a win-win to me.
Totally. Well, real quickly, if I may,
Please.
The Edge of Every Day, the solo show, was constructed, I call it a cabaret ritual. It was built for cabaret. It's constructed and cabaret is a very intimate format of performing for those of you who may not know, your listeners. And ritual, of course, I've taught and studied ritual, and so it's formatted like a ritual. And it is not a linear, it's formatted to go down. It's transformational. It's inspirational and transformational. And everything that I do, those are the two words that I think about. And so the entire, I could send a CD if somebody wanted one. You can purchase it on Amazon, but not everyone has the capability anymore. Like I'm clinging to my CD player. And I have one in my car too for that very reason. But you can get a download of it, and it's a bona fide ritual. And all of the languaging and the music is to take you down and bring you back up. And you can experience the show at any level that you so choose. You can just enjoy the fun. You can get into the ritual a bit, or you can go full on in.
That's awesome. And so I will make sure that a link to that CD is also in the show notes.
Oh,
I'm going to be ordering a copy for myself because clearly
you don't need to order a copy.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do, because I love what you're doing. And I want to be able to go on Amazon and write a review about my experience and how it has been transformational for me. So yeah, I want to be able to say bona fide purchase, in my Amazon review. So wow. Any last thoughts that you would like to share with our audience?
Well, I always, today is the solstice. Well, it might not be when this airs, but it is such a reminder. It's so the edge of every day. The reminder that the light and the dark are always dancing together and shifting like the yin yang, and always to understand holding the tension of both of those, the tension of paradoxes, the tension of opposites, that's a beautiful dance and not to be shied away from. That, in the spiritual community, people always want to focus on the light, but are fearful of the shadow. And there's such power and richness and goodness and truth in both. And so to hold on to both and then allow that which wants to encompass them to emerge.
Yeah,
So, and the way that I said that on my show is, you are always at the edge of the miraculous.
I love that. One of my favorite quotes that I read somewhere, what we see in the world is a reflection of what is unseen in ourselves. Mm-hmm. So you can think of the world as light and what is unseen in ourselves as darkness. And when we go inside, we discover the light. That's where it's actually emanating from and radiating out into the world. What we're actually seeing is a reflection of ourselves. So Sandra, I cannot thank you enough. My biggest challenge is we're going to activate abundance in just a second. I have to pick only one thing that I'm going to activate. And I'm like really stressed out about it because there's so many brilliant things you said today. Wow. I am so grateful to you, Sandra. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, a complete and utter pleasure. Thank you so, so much for having me on. You are fabulous. Your energy, your upliftment, your insight, your embrace, you're diving in. It's great high speed energy. I love it. Love it. Love it.
It's fun to collaborate with you, Sandra. I absolutely adore it. All right. So everybody stay tuned because we're going to be activating abundance in just a minute. So are you ready to activate abundance in every single area of your life? Well, you can get in flow with your business and your clients. It's as easy as you can imagine to create the kind of revenue you really want in your business. You can join me for the Abundance Journey 6-week training and coaching program that help you turn your problems into prosperity. Just visit theabundancejourney.com to sign up for our next adventure. I love Sandra. She's just amazing. And I'm stressing out over what I'm going to activate today because there were so many brilliant things that she said. I want to share all of them, but I'm going to combine a couple into one key message that I think is just incredibly profound. And the first step of every single Activate Abundance segment is gratitude. I feel so much gratitude to be connected with some incredible light that comes from Sandra. I mean, she's just this beacon. I feel so energized. My whole body is buzzing right now because Sandra's energy is that high. And she just immediately took us there. So I'm so grateful. She's just innately inspiring, just in how she shows up and in every word she utters. And if Sandra can do it, we can do it. How cool is that? That's awesome. I'm very grateful to Sandra for entraining us in her energy and lifting us to a much higher space. The step 2 is to acknowledge something she said that was really profound, and I'm going to share what's profound for me. So there were a couple of things that I'm going to combine. She said that abundance is the willingness to feel supported by life, the willingness. Instead of trying to control everything, the willingness to recognize that everything is designed to be a blessing for you, everything, and you might not know what it is. So then part 2 of what I'm acknowledging is her brilliant question. How does this serve me? Because whatever I'm doing in the world, whatever I'm experiencing in the world is designed to serve me in some way. It's designed to get me go inside and see what's happening. What judgments do I have? That will point out the limiting beliefs that I have. I call limiting beliefs energetic bookmarks because often it's something that we didn't understand at the time. And so we just put a ton of energy there so that once we had evolved to a different level, we would be ready to go back and look at that bookmark and see what happened, understand ourselves better, and then we can release all that extra energy and really get in flow. So I love that question. How does it serve me? So I'm going to acknowledge the 2 things. Step 2, the willingness to be supported by life, and how does this serve me? Step 3, appreciate the difference it can make in your life. Well, talk about getting into instantaneous flow. Hello? Because when you show up with gratitude for everything, and you're always asking, how does this serve me? What is the blessing hidden in this moment for me? I'm open to receiving the blessing. Please guide me to the blessing that is here. And you're open. Oh my gosh, life is just pure joy. And every time something really challenging shows up, you're like, hot dog, I just graduated to a higher level. I'm being asked to lean in a little bit more and show up with even more love. How beautiful is that? So yeah, I mean, it's totally transformational when you're willing to take that on. Totally transformational, okay? Step 4, we're going to activate abundance. There are 2 different ways you do that. The first option is you have an anchor. So every time something happens, it just reminds you, it triggers something and you're like, oh, here's how I'm going to show up. So every time I get a little bit irritated about something, I'm going to immediately go, no, I'm grateful for this. No. I'm grateful for this. This is a blessing in disguise. And then I'm going to ask Sandra's question. How does this serve me? What is the blessing in this for me? So I'm going to use that as an anchor. The second way that you can activate abundance is you actually take out your calendar and you schedule something on your calendar. I want you to live in gratitude. I want you to live in flow with the divine. So pick an anchor that works for you and do it all the time, okay? Step 5 is celebrate your progress. Look at how far you've come. You are now permanently connected to Sandra's energy and my energy too. We tend to be pretty high-vibe people. So when you're having a challenging day, just tap into us, tap into our energy, and know that the universe loves and adores you, that the universe has your back, that this is part of the adventure, and being willing to step into the unknown with joy in your heart, and that knowing that no matter what happens, you can deal with it. You're very capable. You're resourceful. There are so many people there who can help you, especially when you stay in that space of gratitude and curiosity. Wow, what a day. Oh, this made my whole year. I can't thank you enough for joining me. I so enjoy having you join me every single week for the Abundance Journey. I'll look forward to seeing you next time.
You've been listening to the Abundance Journey Show with Elaine Starling. Visit theabundancejourney.com/podcast gifts to access today's gift, as well as gifts from our other guests. Tune in every week to activate abundance in your life and business. If something resonated with you, please share it with your friends so they can benefit too. Keep activating abundance, and we'll see you in the next episode.